So I've been working for Val for just over a year now, but Val's actually celebrating its 60th anniversary this year, which is quite the achievement. So we've been around in various forms with various names supporting the third sector in Leicester and Leicestershire for 60 years now, and continue to do so. And we're supported to do that with a contract via the county council, so that we can deliver that support to groups for free. And I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about the different things that we can offer groups in the voluntary sector. So we can offer groups support in getting started, as well as offering support to more established groups. So we can support charities, community groups, and so unregistered charities and registered charities, unconstituted community groups and associations, sports groups, health and wellbeing groups, groups of every type. And we can also support social enterprises as well. So we're starting to see a lot of requests for support from community interest companies, for example. So we can give you guidance on getting started and setting up. So that might be around what kind of structure you think you might need for your group, whether you want to set up a charity or whether it might be better for you to set up a community group, what the steps are in doing that, so we can help you look at what you need to do to register with the Charity Commission or with Companies House. We can give you templates for all the different kinds of policies that you might need. We can also support you with templates for constitutions and articles of association and all of the governing documents that you might need to get started, help you understand the different roles that members of your group might need to take on. So whether you need a chair, a secretary, a treasurer, whether you need directors, whether you need trustees, what the role of those trustees or directors would be. We can support with opening bank accounts and sort of advise on how to do that and what the procedure is, all of those sorts of things. Oh, sorry, I've skipped on one by accident. We can also support with funding searches and with applications. So if you're looking for funding to get started or for a particular project, or for running costs, we have a toolkit that we use to help identifying appropriate pots of funding. So once we sort of have had a little chat with you about what you need it for, what kind of group you are, how much you might need, when you need it by, we can sort of try and identify some appropriate pots of funding that you can apply for. And when you're ready to apply, we can also have a look through your application before you submit, just to make sure, sort of with a bit of a trained eye, that you've not missed out anything crucial, that you've covered all of the bases that we think the funder is looking for, that you're eligible, that you're hitting all the criteria. And again, all of this is a free service that we offer. We can also offer support around governance and legal structures. So not only with setting up new groups, but also if you already have a charity or a KIC or a community organisation and you think you need to review that structure and maybe change it to something else, we can offer guidance and support around that. So for example, if you wanted to move from being a community group to a registered charity, we can give you some guidance and support around the process for doing that, and help you sort of, again, writing your sort of articles of association and mission statements and all of that sort of thing. We can also help with any issues around governance. So we do offer lots of training in different things. So the role of a trustee is one of those things. But also things like business planning and sort of and diversification, things like that. As I mentioned before, we can support with writing policies and procedures for things. So we have templates for all of the sort of main policies that groups are likely to need, like safeguarding, equality and diversity, all of sort of the main policies that you might need. We also have a programme of training that we offer throughout the year. Some of it is face-to-face, some of it is online. We're just in the process of setting up some online self-access training as well that's modular, so that you're able to go through it sort of in your own time as and when is convenient, because we know people live very busy lives and it's not always convenient for people to come to training on the days and times that we've scheduled it. So that will enable people to do it sort of at their own convenience. And what else do I need to tell you about? Volunteering, I suppose. Volunteering is a big part of what we do. We have our own volunteering website, which some of you might have used. We updated that a few months ago, so it's changed a little bit. So now volunteer involving organisations don't actually need to register on it, and neither do prospective volunteers. So volunteer involving organisations will just submit their details once for us to check that, you know, they're a genuine organisation, and then they'll be sent a link for them to upload their own volunteering opportunities. So it acts as a bit of a sort of matching service between people that are looking for volunteering opportunities and groups that are looking for volunteers. And people can search by area, they can search by the type of group, the type of volunteering activity, so admin, driving, cooking, working with young people, working with older people, working with animals, working with the environment. And again, that's free to use and is open to groups across the whole county. We also run a number of events throughout the year. So we have some Meet the Funders that we try to move around the county, and we get a group of funders that have grants available to groups in a room with groups that are looking for funding, so that groups can sit down in front of them and discuss their projects and talk about what they want funding for, giving those funders a better idea of the projects that they're going to submit, so that they can have an idea of whether they're likely to be things that those funders are going to be interested in. We also do pop-ups across the county. So my colleague Ling, you might see out and about doing those. She was in Anstey, I think, yesterday doing one. So she'll sort of go to community venues around the county just to talk to people about volunteering, promoting the volunteering website, but they're also sort of drop-ins for groups to sort of approach us for support if they're interested in getting support on various things. And we also have two major events annually, which are Future Focus, which happened last week, and the Val Awards. So I'll just move my slides on so I can talk to you a little bit more about those. So Future Focus is our annual conference, and that provides opportunities for the voluntary sector in Leicestershire to get together and network with people from other organisations that maybe they've not seen very often. We also provide workshops on specific topics that are relevant to the sector. So this year our themes were accessibility, sustainability and digital inclusivity. So we had workshop facilitators talking about the the future of digital volunteering, about the role of AI in grant funding applications. We had a talk from a group called All In about making your organisation accessible. And we also had a speaker from Leicestershire Greener Futures talking about how you can make your organisation more sustainable. We also did a state of the sector survey at this year's conference. So we've gathered lots of information from those who were present around trends in the voluntary sector in Leicestershire, what some of the common challenges are for people, what's going well, what people would like more support with. And it's just an opportunity to kind of celebrate the diversity and the vibrancy of the voluntary sector in Leicestershire, as is the Val Awards, which is coming up in the next couple of weeks. Don't ask me for the exact date because I haven't got it written down. But this is an opportunity really to celebrate the achievements of volunteers and organisations that we've worked with and maybe others that we haven't worked with across the year. So anyone can nominate a group for a Val Award, and we have various categories. These are photos of some of the previous winners. It's a really lovely event, and it just recognises sort of the contributions that people are making to different areas of the community with their work throughout the year. So that's always a really sort of lovely event. And as I mentioned before, we also offer lots of training. So my colleague Heather, who some of you might know, who's just done one on writing funding applications. We do some workshops around recruiting volunteers, the role of trustees. We've got one coming up about diversifying your income streams. We'll also have a new platform soon, as well as the sort of online self-access stuff, where you can access things like basic food hygiene, manual handling, some of the things that we often get asked about, but we don't deliver ourselves. So we've now sort of gone into partnership with another sort of version of Val in another part of the country to host some training on their platform. And we're also developing a directory of professional services. So that will be available for Val members. And it will be like a directory of things like solicitors that are specialised in offering support to the charity sector, insurers that do public liability insurance for community groups and charities, people that are experienced in putting together websites for community groups, things like that, just so that we can connect groups up with that when they ask. We do get a lot of inquiries on the helpline for things like that. So hopefully that's something that people will find useful. And you can access all of our events and training by having a look on the Val website. I've put the website address on the slides. But if you do need to get in touch with us about any support, then you can email the helpline or you can give us a ring. We have an information and data advisor, Chloe, that responds to all of those inquiries, and that's open 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. Monday to Friday, the helpline. Obviously, the email is picked up every day. But if you do have any requests for support, we ask that you first go there, and then they'll be allocated to the relevant development officer according to whereabouts you are in the county and what kind of support we think you need. And then one of our officers, either myself or Heather or Ling, will get in touch and have a chat about how we can help you.